interested parties are now scouring the fine print in the documents and are asking very reasonable questions about the meaning of the numbers and how they relate to the ocean abundance forecast. Table A3 of the STT report shows the projected age 4 ocean harvest rate, but the age 4 constraint for coastal shrimp wasn't limiting this year. So perhaps it would be more beneficial to show the projected harvest rate on all Klamath adults instead of, or in addition to, the age 4 ocean harvest rate. I appreciate the willingness of the STT to give these issues regarding the numbers in the package some thought over summer. And if that thinking suggests that a methods review is warranted on either the Klamath Ocean Harvest Model and or the Klamath Forecast in order to bring better resolution, I'd encourage the STT to consider adding an item to the final methods review list that we will take up in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. Any questions for clarification on the motion? Seeing no questions, discussion on the motion? Cory Ridings.
Thank you, Vice. Thank you, Mr. Remco, for this motion. I will be voting no on this motion, and I wanted to share some of those reasons here. Some of our predicted returns on the SAC are even lower than last year, yet we had higher guidance from NMFS for reasons that remain unclear. When that guidance came out in March, there were a lot of questions about why that had changed and what the direction that was coming from, and to date I have not gotten a clear answer around that. The logic behind this year and last year's recommendation, they don't make sense to me. We used a lower target in response to an even lower prediction remains a mystery and a major concern. I want to start right now and express my deep appreciation of the measures that CDFW have taken and have offered to take as part of this deliberation to do in-season monitoring and quota-based management. That is new. Those are potentially extremely valuable tools, especially when we are at lower levels of abundance. I am very grateful to everyone in the department who took the time and energy and resources to think those things out and bring those tools to the table. Part of that was thinking about a data plan. You know, what could those tools get us? What data, what information could a small limited fishery provide us? We've heard some discussion about that. I haven't, however, seen a data plan or a methodology about how that is going to be executed. Have concerns about limited resource and the ability to effectively execute that plan in a way that means we would be guaranteed to get meaningful data moving forward. The Yurok and Hoopa tribes depend on salmon. While this package provides its treaty-obligated 50-50 share of available fish, it does not address the overarching fact that the federal government, across its agencies that go beyond NMFS and NOAA, continues to not meet their obligations. 50-50 of very little is even less. We just heard about minimal needs from the STT, which were not even addressed, but that is not even really what I think we should be doing here. We should be focusing on meeting needs. Regarding the recreational opportunities that Mr. Remco has proposed here, it is my opinion that I do not think having a 2-day opener will keep us within our limits. The design of the season put forward by CDFW, with a lot of help from the SAS, is thoughtful and seeks to address the potential to overfish. But I have long-standing concerns that we will go through our limits in a single 2-day season. I've joked that every bloke and her dog will want to fish for salmon, myself included. I think that remains true. We have a lot of folks in California who want to go fish, who are going to be there that day one. I'm probably going to be one of them. I have a lot of concerns that we are not in a place to be able to manage that. We have heard enforcement concerns about what that looks like and the ability to enforce even a 2-day season. There are data and monitoring concerns about how you collect and ensure that that data is useful and rigorous and valid. We heard this week that there are safety concerns for the people who will be fishing. I'm not here to tell people what they can and can't personally risk, but it matters if we set people up for safety or not, and that is National Standard 10 demands that of us. We've heard throughout this process from some folks from ports and counties. Honestly, I really appreciate them coming and providing that perspective. I think it's helpful and it's nice to hear sort of what impacts and what fishing means from their perspective. It made me think about what would this, even a small season, mean for these ports and these communities. And I suspect that it probably would help them. I maintain one weekend at the potential costs that may be paid later down the road in loss of fishing isn't worth the risk. The ocean harvest models, while the good science is developed and run by talented and devoted scientists, have a lot of uncertainty in them. We know that their accuracy is poor and continue to trend towards overestimation, which gives the council and decision makers like us very low confidence. Fundamentally, I feel like we are at the margins and we are grasping for straws. Fundamentally, the situation is fewer fish than last year when this council decided to not have a season. So I've been thinking, what's the difference? Seems like we have politics, we have desperation, we have sadness, we have frustration. And a lot of that is with folks and entities outside of this council, which is to say with NIMS and for the state of California for not managing the water necessary for abundant and healthy salmon. Those are not reasons, though, to put recovery and future fishing and risk putting Sac Fall into an overfished situation, which we were told we missed by a very small margin last year, at risk. There remains concerns about spring and winter run as well. Because of the rolling average, the risk of hitting an overfished declaration on Sac Fall is slightly lower this year on paper, but in principle, saving now while we're at the bottom for the future of fishing, that remains. Regarding the Klamath, we have a lot of hope for the future. I know I certainly do with the dams that have come down, but those benefits have not materialized yet, and we don't know when they will. We cannot fully change the future for salmon until things are done better on land. And I thank and urge this council to do everything we can to weigh in on those issues whenever we can. However, it doesn't change our responsibility and authorities here today. And fundamentally, this council is just an advisory body to the National Marine Fisheries Service. And I urge them, they must be stronger when working with their state and federal partners to stand up for salmon. Lastly, one issue I've been considering has been fairness. We are asked to consider this under the national standards as well. While thinking on that, I came to the conclusion that I cannot compliment the fishermen and industry folks enough at what great lengths they've gone to support each other at this meeting and try to provide fishing opportunity across the board. I'm still struggling with some concerns around fairness, however. Asking the commercial fleet to stay tied up while we have recreational is very difficult, even if it's a small opportunity. Again, I want to thank so many people who have been at this meeting around the table and informing this meeting, especially Mr. North and Mr. Remco, the SAS, the STT, and everyone who was here providing advice on how to move forward with this. I feel very fortunate to be receiving the information, the wisdom, the knowledge from people who put into this, a lot of them on their own time and their own dime, to try to make these decisions as best we can. Thanks.
Thank you, Corey. Further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Abstentions? Motion passes with one no vote. I believe the executive director has that recorded. Thank you.